what do you make of above it all Biden now actually going, right? The Democrats were salivating. Trump's stuck in court. He's not going to be able to say anything. Joe Biden's got the whole nation to himself. Meanwhile, they're like, holy shit, all the action's over there. We better get over there right now. Who do we send? Get Robert De Niro. He's one of the biggest stars on earth. Everybody will love him. Well, he got booed to the point where he started to like get upset. Somebody, and I gotta imagine it was a Trump supporter, must have hit one of those car alarms, the annoying car alarms, which took over half of his remote. He was so annoyed. He's not used to going into the room and not being the most popular guy there. Stu, so what do you make of their running to Trump? Sometimes when Muhammad won't go to the mountain, you know it has to happen.
Well, there was a big story in Politico today saying that the Dems are in full freakout mode over the Biden candidacy and how it's going, and which is not well. So what better way to turn the narrative around about your 80-plus-year-old doddering candidate than send out an 80-plus-year-old doddering celebrity to support him in front of a courthouse where he shows up, by the way, in a cloth mask outdoors.
Oh, my God.
He walks up in a mask, I guess, to prevent COVID-19 outdoor transmission, which scientists will tell you has never occurred outside of very close conversation. And then he, of course, steps up to the podium, and when he's surrounded by everybody, and removes the mask immediately. It's actually a really good microcosm of how this is going so far for Biden.
It's so true. Unless the mask read vote, it couldn't have been any better.
Yeah. It's true. It's just embarrassing. This is an embarrassing situation, and they are now getting to the point where I think they've had this narrative in their head since the beginning, Megyn, I think, where they thought, look, people, Trump left office and wasn't all that popular, right? He leaves in 2020, even before January 6th, his approval rating was never sky high. People will remember eventually that they didn't like him. They'll see him on TV, he'll start tweeting again or something, and the people will be reminded. And the closer and closer we get to this election, I think they're realizing that the average everyday situation for the average everyday person is overwhelming whatever distaste they had for Donald Trump's personality or hijinks outside of office. They don't seem to be thinking about that. They seem to be thinking about their bank accounts and the fact that they're paying, $9 a gallon for milk. And this is a big problem for them, and one that is overwhelming whatever concerns they have about Trump. They look back at Trump as something that, that was a positive memory in their mind as opposed to what they have now. And they might not like Donald Trump, but what they do know is they don't want what they have at this moment.
Dave, here's some sound from outside the courtroom. De Niro talking about what's going to happen. We keep hearing this from Rachel Maddow and others. If Trump wins, suggesting we'll never get rid of him. He's going to stay in office forever and ever. He will single-handedly bend the Constitution to his will. Sot 1.
If Trump returns to the White House, you can kiss these freedoms goodbye that we all take for granted. And elections, forget about it. That's over. That's done. If he gets in, I can tell you right now, he will never leave. He will never leave. You know that. He will never leave. What does that mean? Is that the country we want to live in? Do we want him running this country and saying, I'm not leaving, I'm dictator for life? This is not a threat. This is a reality. And that's why I've joined the Biden-Harris campaign, because the only way to preserve our freedoms and hold on to our humanity is to vote for Joe Biden for president. Really. We don't have a choice.
Okay, just to follow up on that, Dave, here's a little bit of the pushback that he was getting and how he handled it in SOT 2.
For these lowlives, for Trump.
They lied under oath.
They lied under oath. Right. Who lied under oath?
Talking about the J6
what
cops.
What are you telling me?
Those two traitors behind you.
Excuse me?
Those two traitors behind you.
They lied under oath?
That's right.
What are you saying?
They're traitors.
Mm-hmm. They're traitors. You gotta, I don't even know how to deal with you, my friend. I don't even know how to deal with you.
Dave, should Robert De Niro have been dealing with them at all?
Listen, if you look over De Niro's shoulder in that first clip, you can see Biden comms director Michael Tyler thinking to himself, "Oh my God, my career is over." I mean, it's right there at his eyes. Like you can completely see it. No, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I've covered every inch of this trial for the Morning Wire every day. So I'm there 9 o'clock this morning. There's my TV, there's my laptop, there's my thing. And I see Biden Harris going to do a presser at the trial. Thought like, well, that doesn't seem like a very good idea. That doesn't send the message. This isn't political, right? But I thought, okay, that's dumb. And then I'm scrolling Twitter. And I don't know if you guys know Phil Wegman. He's a buddy of mine, wonderful White House correspondent for Real Clear Politics. One of the few guys who asks the tough questions, right? Serious journalist. I'm a goofy columnist. He's a serious journalist, right? And he, quote, tweets the press release and he says, one of the speakers will be Robert De Niro. My hand to God, my first thought was, good for Phil. This is funny. This is a good, funny joke. It's nice to see Phil let his hair down. And then I was like, wait a minute. Phil wouldn't make this joke in this situation. And I still couldn't believe it was real. I am absolutely flummoxed. That is the dumbest move that I've ever seen a presidential campaign make in my entire life. Biden's campaign staff reminds me of a line from Glengarry Glen Ross when Ricky Roma looks at the office manager and he says, your job is to help us, not to fuck us up. And that's what I'd be saying if I was Joe Biden to my campaign staff right now. They're horrible. Look, I don't know if they're going to switch out Joe Biden. They got to switch out these fools because this was a hot mess.
Yeah. And honestly, like the January 6th cops, the thing is, Stu, these two in particular, especially Fanone, have been so partisan, so political. I mean, they hate President Trump. And I get that maybe they have additional reasons to dislike him, given what happened on J 6th. But if you listen to, in particular, this guy Fanone, I don't know Harry Dunn as well, everything he says about Trump is interpreted through the most harsh, partisan, Trump derangement syndrome afflicted lens. It's like, okay, we get it, right? Like these are, and De Niro too. I was on Fox News. I was in the prime time of Fox, and we had Robert De Niro on camera in an exclusive rant about Donald Trump. It was the first time he'd really come out and said how he felt about politics. And we broke that on my show when he ran and lost to Hillary Clinton. So what is it that they think has changed between then and now that De Niro couldn't get Trump defeated in 2016 to Hillary, but somehow he can do the job now against Joe Biden?
It is strange calculus. I don't understand it at all. I mean, obviously the Democrats have this quote unquote advantage of having all of the celebrities on earth liking them instead of Republicans. And they trot these people out constantly. I've never really seen much success with this approach, though. I don't know that it does anything for anyone. You kind of understand in theory the Capitol Police officer approach, right? These are people who, look, on January 6th, some Capitol Police officers were victims of being hit with flagpoles and things like this. There are some that I think are characters that you'd want on your side. You mentioned Harry Dunn, though. He's not one of them. I mean, Harry Dunn has what the person said to De Niro, at least part of it, was accurate. He has lied under oath. Our own Steve Baker here at The Blaze has done extensive reporting on this with video. He got access to all of the cameras inside the Capitol. Harry Dunn said under oath that he was in one place in the Capitol and had a confrontation. We have the video from that time. He was on the other side of the building, nowhere near where he said he was. This has been shown with video over and over again. Please look at Steve Baker's reporting on this. And he went on to, of course, run for a congressional seat, which he lost in a primary a couple of weeks ago. But he has been someone that the Democrats have tried to use this idea that he's this hero cop. And large parts of his story have already been proven to be untrue. They don't care. They have this idea that they can still control this narrative. And forever, through the mainstream media, this has been true. They've been right. They've been able to do this. I just don't think 2024, the same story. I don't think rolling out famous celebrities and people who are newsmakers whose stories have been proven at least half untrue, that's not going to work anymore because you don't have a media that is going to tell the story lock, stock, and barrel the way they want it. And I think they're going to wake up to a situation where they just don't have the control they believe they do. And
Yeah.
I think it's just, now that we're within 6 months, it's starting to terrify them.
Yeah, that's right. They are losing control. I mean, the fact that they sent emissaries over to Lower Manhattan to speak at the Trump trial is amazing. And it does show you that what Trump's been doing, since he's gagged and he can't speak, of bringing in surrogates to offer comments every day, has rattled them too. They're like, oh no, we better get somebody over there to counter that, rather than doing the above the fray. We're going to talk about inflation routine. Above the fray, we're going to talk about you and your pocketbook and the issues we know matter to you, which was the approach they said they were going to do. And obviously nothing's working for him, which is why they're in full freakout mode. Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, oh joy, the IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. No one wants to get those letters. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay, or if you are on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation or visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.